Boxing is back. Deontay Wilder's back. Jake Paul's on track for a title. Ramirez won. Fantastic performance from Schofield. And we've got some more boxing coming up. All that in this week's episode.
If I can interject before we go any further, Wilder is not back.
Well, did you watch the Wilder fight?
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yes, yeah. Well,
I got bored.
Well, yeah, no, it was tough. It was tough. I'm sure. So I just see myself on camera. If you can't hear my fan, you can certainly see it. Very glamorous. But yeah, I think I said to you the most notable thing about Wilder was his leggings.
Describe the leggings to me, please.
Almost like a leopard, but like black with sort of gold, sort of like polka dots. I don't even know if it was like a sort of like a bit of glitter in the gold. It was just if you've got legs that have become a bit of a meme, a bit of a thing, do not draw more attention to.
But do you not think it was that sort of like a reverse polka dot kind of thing going on? Did you think? I thought he's put them on to sort of thicken his legs up a little bit, get a few extra millimeters of material to make him look a bit bulkier.
Well, to make him look sturdier. Because he looked very shaky, didn't he, in his last few fights? Maybe he was like compression stockings to help.
And maybe he's picked polka dots.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to have stripes, do you? Because that's really going to highlight the problem. So he's gone for polka dots.
Yeah. Stripes are thinning, right? So if you go with polka dots,
hoops, it's hoops, isn't it? Yeah, that's what he should have gone for. There's the mistake he made.
Yeah, but he looked like he bulked up, so maybe he needed the extra. But it was just, Herndon, Christ. We were talking about how pointless this fight was last week. Herndon didn't come to fight. He came to try to not get knocked out, which he didn't like properly get knocked out. It was dire, absolutely dire. I put Dave Allen in with him. Put Dave Allen in with Deontay Wilder. Just for a name for Dave Allen. Put Fabio Wardley with Deontay Wilder. I don't know. Absolutely cooked.
It was quite a difficult fight to watch, not just because it was quite sort of boring and all that happened, but like the atmosphere and the lighting. It was very dark, wasn't it?
Dark.
Really dark.
Like it was a really tough watch. A really tough watch.
It's like that Game of Thrones season where nobody could see it because it was too dark. Like I don't know what they were doing.
The final season, wasn't it? Yeah. The big battles no one could see. It was a bit like that. And overhyped and didn't deliver. So yeah, very similar.
When I was watching it, so I probably got to about round 4, and I was just like, "Oh, this is really quite boring. I don't think I can watch another sort of 3 rounds of this."
No.
Wilder sort of looked like he sort of had an all right jab, an okay jab considering the opposition.
I thought that in the first round, he was really concentrating on his jab. I thought he'd just come out there, I was saying he'd be like Stavern too. He'd just come out there and have to blow him away. It looked like he wanted to just show a bit of ring general, ring craftsmanship, didn't he? And he got behind his jab and very considered. And not what you want to see from deals. And the first knockdown was like a left hook, wasn't it?
It was a left hook, yeah. It was weird because nothing happened that should have... It didn't go to plan. Like, if Wilder knocked him out, you'd be like, oh, great, I can't wait to watch that knockout. No. It wasn't any good to watch, was it? It was... I don't know what Herndon was doing, but for the sort of last 2 rounds, he spent just sort of bent over, like, at a right angle for the entire 2 rounds.
And Wilder was basically sort of just hitting him on top of the head. It was almost like he was getting... it was almost like a schoolyard fight. It was almost like having a headlock a few times.
Yeah.
It was mad. I think it was like the ref got bored in the end. So.
That's what I thought. Yeah, he was just like, oh, this is crap. Let's just call it.
Let's go home. Like, yeah.
So not really the return that boxing or Wilder wanted. Um, I don't know where this leaves him. I know you've kind of said stick Dave Allen or Wardley in with him, but I don't know what it would do for Wardley to go in and beat Wilder now because
It's still a name.
he's a name, but like, does it advance him beyond where he is now? I don't know.
No, but I think he's in the pecking or he's in the waiting room, isn't he?
He's the problem with Wilder now is he's a name, right? But he's not a name that I think many people would pay for now because his last few fights have been sort of really quite bad.
Been,
You know, like you can't. I just can't see anyone paying for him to do anything because he doesn't do anything anymore. Like, you know, he's a name, but like Dave Allen Wilder, so there'd have to be another fight above that. Like, it's just not enough.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah,
Do you think?
it would
Do you,
have to be on an Riyadh undercard, something like that. It's not, yeah.
so do you think that's it for Wilder Joshua? Do you think that's all over now?
I think so. I hope so. It would be a bit. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a bit. It's the last few fights to watch Wilder. They've almost been quite sad.
It has
Do you
been
know
quite
what I
sad.
mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you see a girl from high school who was really fit, and you see her like. I don't know if I can say stuff like that, but yeah, you just it's not the way you want to remember Deontay Wilder, is it?
Well, you know, obviously Joshua got taken apart by Dubois, and it was quite it got quite badly taken apart. But at least, sort of in that final round, the roll the dice round, he did land an absolute banger on Dubois' chin that
Yeah,
looked like it had caused him a few problems, and he looked like he was about to land another.
yeah,
And he was like, "Well, yeah, Joshua's been sparked, but he did have a go, and you know, things going
yeah.
another, you know, fortune going another way might have been in there. But with Wilder, it's just like it is just quite sad.
The thing is, because who's the last person that Wilder knocked down? Is it Ortiz? No,
What
no. Who is it?
actually knocked down? Well,
Yeah, knocked out.
It'll be
No,
Fury.
knocked out. Knocked down.
Oh, that's Hellenius then, yeah.
Oh, hilarious. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I forgot about that. So it's not like if he was to fight AJ, yeah, you say AJ's last defeat isn't, he comes out that more credit than Wilder does after his, last victory, really, doesn't he? Even though, he's only.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. I mean, maybe if anyone had heard of Herndon at all, or there'd have been some name, you know, there. Maybe he would have come out with a bit more credit. But as he was a complete nobody, it's just there's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
there.
exactly. He's an M1Z. So it's not like the narrative would always be with Wilder. He's always got a puncher's chance. But almost after watching that, it's like it's gone because he's
The big right hand wasn't there, was it? It just wasn't there.
wasn't because he did land it, but it didn't carry the way he
Mm.
used to. And it's not like he's
I think it's the leggings.
I think maybe it was the leggings. Maybe it was the leggings. It looked like he'd gone from him, like the snap and the venom in those punches. Because it wasn't like when you look at it, his technique when he punches, it's not like he's a technically good puncher. It's just like sort of
Oh,
like a
it
freakish knockout. Even with Wardley, Wardley's just really hard. Like he does throw bombs and he'll blow you out of there. Whereas Wilder was, I don't know, he was a real sort of freakish knockout power. And I feel like if it's gone, it's gone, and then Wilder goes with it, right?
Here's a question for you. I heard someone
Yeah.
say this the other day. Have you ever seen Wilder throw an uppercut?
No,
He doesn't have any shots in his locker. Yeah, he
I
barely got anything.
don't know. Yeah,
I was listening to something, I cannot remember what it was, and they were saying that Wilder, you know, everyone says he came late to boxing, and he did. I think he was 20 or something like that when he started boxing. But he still doesn't seem to have really learned much at all in all of that time. I mean, he had a lot of title defenses.
Yeah.
Um, and they probably knew that Wilder wasn't that great of a fighter all along, which is why they kept him away from absolutely everyone. Like he just didn't fight anyone, did he? Like he nobody with any threat. He never fought anyone with any threat.
I guess he was a one-trick pony, and it was quite a good trick, or given the trade he was in. But you know what is weird? When you talk about him coming to boxing late, which he did, I think maybe actually he was still an Olympian, right? So he'd still got through all the US qualifiers to qualify as an Olympian in what's historically been, a strong country for heavyweights. Obviously, it wasn't at the time for he's gone through. Um,
Yep.
I think maybe Fabio Wardley being, learning on the job has sort of reframed what it means to be an inexperienced heavyweight. So, like, how can Wilder be so bad? The fact that like we both noticed independently. Oh well, he's throwing a jab. He's really getting behind his jab. It's very rare you saw that of Wilder, isn't it?
The only other time I can remember doing it, I think it was Fury 2.
He was,
In
yeah,
the first round, he threw
yeah,
quite a lot of jabs.
yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like, oh, look at him throwing jabs. And then the wheels came off like
Yeah.
just immediately after that
It
round.
was because I remember thinking that in real time because this was obviously the second one where Fury done away with my mate. I saw yours, Ben Davidson, and got him Sugar Hill, and had been saying to everyone, "I'm going to knock him out."
Yeah.
And no one had considered was, hold on, it was Wilder going to try and nick this on points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't work out that way. But since that fight, there's been something quite tragic about Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah,
He now to me is, if you're Frank Warren or you're probably not Eddie Earn because he doesn't really have anyone. Um, he's just a fighter that you put on where you know your fighter's going to win. It's a name to advance them, but that's sort of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sort of it.
That's why I think maybe the Wardley one will get some traction. If AJ, I think Wilder said this before the fight. He wasn't interested in AJ. Funnily enough, because AJ didn't have a belt, AJ wasn't bringing enough to the table. And it's not a payday like it was. I think AJ will want it.
Surely it is still a
Payday.
massive
Oh, still
payday.
a payday, but not like it was when you
Oh,
remember when
well, I mean, of course it's not. He keeps getting knocked out.
you exactly. So it's like, does he need it? I'd like him just to go away. You know,
No, I don't. I don't do this retirement thing. Everyone wants everyone to retire. Keep them going. That's what I say. Keep them going.
but when the most eye-catching thing about your performance is one that you're wearing leggings, and two, the snazziness of the leggings.
They look quite hot as well. They look
And
quite sweaty. We've all turned up to a football match wearing skins and then really regretted it about 15 minutes later. Yeah,
yeah,
you wouldn't think a professional boxer would make that mistake.
especially a man who's proven that he can't carry additional weights.
What if it was actually a pair of thigh-high boots, but you just couldn't see the top of them?
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Be
Well, look,
good.
lovely, whatever they were. So maybe you should just focus on the stocking game and leave boxing alone now.
Yeah.
I think
Okay, so I'll agree with you. Let's say I think Wardley's a good shout.
yeah,
I'd still watch the AJ fight, but
of
just
course.
based on the Zhilei Zhang fight for Wilder, I just think it'd be over pretty quickly. I think
I
AJ
think
would dismantle him like really badly as well.
he's basically, if you think of AJ Wilder now, well, the thing you could level at AJ historically, maybe unfairly, maybe fairly, I don't know, is he's a bit chinny.
Yep.
But
Does get up though. He does get
he
up.
does get up and he comes back as well. He does get up and he does come back and he will, he'll have a go and I think he's learning that and how to control, not gas himself out. So, but also Wilder's doesn't look to be carrying the power he was. So I imagine AJ would just go in and get it done. And that's what he'd have to do against Wilder. In the way that this fight would be, it's not, it's not about him protecting his own anymore. Or it's not about him. Um, he's got nothing to lose. He's got it all to gain. It's legacy. It's a highlight reel. It's a knockout. That's what he's going to have to go for. And I think, even if he looks back to, the second Fury fight, it's like, I'm just going to go in. I'm going to take the center of the ring and I'm going to put it on you, and you're going to have to worry about me more than me worry about you.
Yeah, I get the feeling it'd go down a lot like AJ and Ngannou. I think it'd be over pretty quickly.
I mean,
He'd see his weaknesses in the first round.
yeah.
I'd like to think AJ could keep out of the way of Wilder's shots, but it's difficult to know at the moment because the only time he's faced anyone with any shots, he got clobbered very easily in the first round.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to know while they're not active, right? But same as you, I still watch it and enjoy it and want to see it. And despite everything I'm saying, like, sad to see Deontay Wilder like this. I would enjoy seeing Deontay Wilder like it on the receiving end of either Anthony Joshua or Fabio Wardley or, for that matter, Dave Allen. So,
I mean, the sort of the British boxing fan in you would really enjoy seeing Dave Allen knock out Deontay Wilder. It'd just be ludicrous.
Yeah, I think Dave Allen would fancy it as well. I think Dave Allen would have seen enough on Friday night. I'd say there's nothing to be scared of there.
Have you got any more on Wilder, Herndon? Where do we see Herndon going next? No, I'm just joking.
Well, do you know what? Actually, given his output, he looks like he's custom made for Jake Paul, doesn't
he? Well, not according to Jake Paul, because he's called out. Jake Paul's call outs, by the way,
God, do you know
amazing. What? So there is one thing. I know you're not a big sort of fan of the Jake Paul sort of circus and stuff.
No.
And I'm not either. But we are going to talk about this fight. And I think what I will say is...
I watched it as this, so yeah.
Well, I think what I will say is we'll only talk about Jake Paul in future if he's fighting an active boxer. And if he isn't, there'll be no coverage.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
I'm happy with that. There's just come on, talk about who he's called out, because it's absolutely mental.
Okay, so he's Anthony Joshua's won.
So we got someone about Spectrum.
Tank Davis.
Yeah, someone with that.
And Canelo are the three that I'm aware of.
Yeah, they're the three. So, and I think Cole Froch probably as well. Though.
So one, they're not talking about Carl Froch at the moment for some reason.
I've seen that.
I mean, to be honest with you, I keep seeing Carl Froch saying, "Don't let him talk about me. I'll iron him out." I don't think he would. I think Carl Froch would get beat in that fight.
I don't know. It depends whether he signs a contract that everyone else does when they fight Jake Paul, which means they can only fight 25.
Well, let's get to that then. So did you watch the fight? You did?
I've watched it. Yeah, I didn't watch it live. I've watched it to see again what's happening. Because as well, and I do say it's about Jake Paul, fair play to him. Because he does live the life, doesn't he? Really, he does live the life, and he's a good promoter. And if you've got all that money and you decide I want to be a boxer and you live the life of a boxer, fair play to him, and he gets in the ring and he does. It's just that the fights are always so underwhelming, and he's always against. This is Tommy Fury is the most active boxer has been against Chavez Jr. I mean, this looking back on it, it's incredibly predictable, isn't it? Really, because Chavez Jr. We spoke a bit about the Canelo fight a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Mm.
He often doesn't show up. It just sort of looks like he's just sort of mentally checked out. He quit against the Jacobs, and it's like, and obviously the Canelo fight, and this fight, he just looked like he just didn't really throw anything back. I'm sort of like backing away. It was like, it was weird. It was weird to watch. I don't think it's rigged, as in like it'd be too obvious. Do you know what I mean?
You don't think it's rigged?
No, not in the sense that. Well, I don't think he has to win because I feel like that'd be too obvious. But I think the fighters who go in with him sort of know what it is, and they're at 50%, if that. They're not taking it seriously, and I don't. It's something just seems off about it. Maybe
I'm
it's like,
I'm struggling with it now. So I wasn't entirely sure. I didn't think the Tyson fight was necessarily rigged. I just thought Tyson was an old man and that they'd
well,
done.
that's it. This is
And
it.
I,
I
th-
think
I th-
matchmaking's the one where it's like they'll get people who either can't do it for the age or just knowing Chavez Jr. It was like a looking back on it, big name, easy. Oh, say easy work. That's very dismissive. But you could see Chavez Jr. wasn't going to be up for this fight. He doesn't care.
it's just weird to me. Very, very weird that very, very few punches were thrown by someone that has held a world title and been
Yeah.
in there with some really good fighters. It's just something very, very unusual about him not throwing punches until final couple of rounds. Now, he did look fairly decent when he threw in the final couple of rounds to Chavez Jr. Whether
Yeah.
that's because Paul was knackered, because he always looks, I mean, he looks
Well,
knackered,
he
doesn't
does.
he?
He
As a
puts
boxer.
himself. He puts himself out. He puts because it's everything for him, really, isn't it? So he does put his all into it. You
Well,
can't.
I think he's got that comb forward hair because I think he's going bald,
Hey,
and it gets wet. His beard looks wet. Uh,
you look incredible as men who've gone that way.
I've been there. I know that
So it,
situation.
no, it's you look bad.
He's got the money to fix that, but he always looks a bit knackered. So I don't know whether it was because Jake Paul was knackered or a lot of people saying Chavez Jr. wasn't really allowed to throw until the final two rounds. I mean, he didn't look unhappy, did he, Chavez Jr. at the end? He didn't look unhappy at
That's
all.
what I mean. It's like you not asked. They're not asked. The guys who go in the ring with him. So it's and then
I
it's
suppose it's hard to be particularly pissed off when you're walking out with millions of pounds.
of course. It's like
And
you've done
and you're not an active boxer, so like it's not like it matters to you at all. Maybe if you were active,
exactly as no one like boxing fans won't look back on his career. Same sort of look back on Mike Tyson's career and look at that performance. Obviously, as the window's a lot smaller for when Chavez retired, but you just don't count that, do you? You don't count it.
nah.
It's a
I
fight.
had some pretty good analysis by Paulie Malignaggi on the fight, which is pretty good actually. And he was saying, look, Jake Paul, he does look quite a bit better than what he started out at, but he called
Yeah,
him. This is a really good term. He called him a your turn, my turn fighter. So
yeah,
basically, he will, when you're attacking, he will dance out of the way, jump back, put his guard up, kind of what you'd expect. But then when the fighters that he's fighting are done, he'll step in and take his turn. But he doesn't have the ability to just stop what they're doing and count a punch or anything like that and really turn the tide. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But see, this is why I think he'd probably beat Carl Froch actually, because I mean, Carl Froch has nearly got 10 years on Chavez Jr. And
yeah. That's a
he's,
big,
as much as he
big.
likes to pretend he's a Nottingham hard man these days, I doubt he's fighting very often, Carl Froch. Um,
Well, yeah, it's quite hard to match, isn't it? In a pub in Nottingham, like not many people are going to go for it.
and I don't want to hear it anyway. I want Jake Paul to go in there with an active boxer. I don't want any more people trying to cash in on it or anything like that.
How much bigger would he be than Tank?
Um, well, he's cruiserweight now, so at least 4 stone, I would think.
Mad.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
3.5, 4 stone, something like that. I would say.
yeah,
It's just the call outs are insane. I'll call
that's
out a
that's that's,
heavyweight.
that's what does my head. Yeah, it's called out a heavyweight and Javante Davis. You're just like go away. That's the thing. That's the thing that does my head in. It's like right, I've just and he knows what he's doing. Obviously, his name's for clout and all of that. But the Canelo thing's stupid. But maybe he's calling him out so much that by the time Canelo does, I don't know, finally give in, he's over the hill enough that there could be a fight in there. I don't know. I just wonder if he's playing a super, super long game. Um,
Maybe. So
maybe that's what.
the two things I think are, well, firstly, his fights are always boring. Like, Jake, for all this stuff that he chucks in there, like I'm going to fight Mike Tyson, I'm fighting Chavez Jr. I don't really see that Chavez Jr. is any kind of name at all. I just think that's a bit. It's not a big name at all. That. But the fight again was boring. Tyson was boring. I don't know who's paying for these fights, man. I mean, I know he does put on pretty good undercards, which probably helps quite a lot. But I just don't. I mean, he's got to get in there with an active boxer. I mean, I did say at the beginning. I can't remember what I said actually, but uh, he's going to get a fight. He's going to get a title fight at some point, I would imagine, because he just commands too much money and there's too many eyeballs on him. I mean, if they're prepared to chuck Pacquiao in for a fight, straight into a title fight, then I would imagine at some point, if Jake Paul doesn't get beat, he will get a title fight. I'd imagine he will.
Yeah, oh God, I hope not. Although, yeah,
And there's some people saying, well, could he beat Badu Jack? And some people are going, oh, well, on a good day, maybe. And I'm thinking, well, I couldn't beat Tommy Fury.
no, exactly. That's it. That's it. If you can't beat Tommy Fury, in respect for Tommy Fury, if you can't beat Tommy Fury, then no, you should be nowhere near a world
Yeah.
title. Nowhere near it.
So the matchmaking for him will be really interesting next, because who do they pick? He has to keep fighting people that can't cause him any problems at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's sort of remarkable that they keep managing to find people, but I suppose if you've got every boxer that ever boxed that is still alive that you can fight in any weight division,
Exactly.
then it's maybe a little bit easier.
Exactly. You'll find them. You'll find them.
And one of the people he has been calling out was on the undercard, obviously, Ramirez.
That was that last week or a week before? I think you mentioned that he'd called out Ramirez.
Yeah, it has been going on for a bit as that one, and there were rumors that Ramirez was going to take it as well.
Take it. I mean, if you're Ramirez, take it and just you'll make good money. Because in fairness, Ramirez isn't. I don't know. Talk about his fight as well, but no, he's Mexican, so he's probably got a big following. I don't know. Probably got a big following, but no, probably has, hasn't he? Yeah, I love their box now. Then.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a fighter who's going to make a load of money. He's not. I don't find him particularly enjoyable to watch. Maybe his best bet is. I don't think he beats Okataya. I don't think that happens.
I think a lot of people are that's the conclusion that a lot of people have drawn from his win this weekend, that he probably doesn't trouble Okataya. I will say that it's quite difficult to judge Okataya because he just hasn't fought that many big names. So, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'd have to see.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It's when you win and you don't look good doing it. And one thing I'll say is, how do you pronounce the guy's name? Dorticos? Dorticos?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
His low blows. Certain rounds still he landed three, each one more deliberate than the last. It was it was mad. It was mad. That was that.
On the subject of low blows, there was somebody talking about the Dubois Usyk fight. Counted 20 low blows from Dubois on Usyk. Yeah, apparently. I don't know whether the punch stats support that. That was just somebody on YouTube saying, yeah, there was a hell of a lot in there.
Funny. They've said this time it's one of the requests that he doesn't wear his shorts high, and basically I heard Don Charles talking about it, saying their strategy is going to be hit anywhere where there's flash on show. So I don't know if he's just going to be lost of throwing hooks to the calves and everything, just trying to trip. what they're going to be going for. Um, but yeah, but anyway, Ramirez, Joe, I can't. Yeah, it'll happen. And I back up Taya 9 times out of 10 in that fight.
Yeah, I think most people will. I'm sure he'll go in sort of heavy favorite there. Yeah, Ramirez didn't come out of the fight sort of glowing, really. I don't suppose. I think people sort of expected a slightly easier win.
Yeah. What else do we have on the? Oh, did you want to talk about the Schofield fight? Because I
Oh
didn't.
yeah, yeah. So I only briefly caught this one, but it was very brief. So Floyd Schofield, Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer's been in there with a few names and always puts up a solid performance. Very
Yeah.
sort of hard guy to get out of there. Floyd Schofield knocked him out in the first round,
Oh,
um,
wow.
which was a hell of a statement because so few people have done anything like that to Farmer. He's a
Yeah,
decent fighter. I've seen Tevin Farmer a couple of times. He is a decent
yeah.
fighter.
One of those names, isn't he? Yeah. But
Yeah. Tevin also, by the way, great name.
great name. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
It's almost like we like Kevin
Yeah, yeah.
and Devin is out there and that's a weird name, but we're gonna go one step further. We're gonna go Tevin.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's one of my regrets of my kids. I didn't go more down that route. Take a conventional name and just change a letter.
Change the start of it. Yeah, it's a classic. Plenty of them in boxing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of Jevin. Jevin would be good.
I mean that's out. I'm sure that one's out there. Like that
I
sounds
must.
yeah.
If you can dream it, you can name a kid in, right? So there we go.
Yeah. So let's start with Catterall Eubank then this Saturday.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm really excited about this.
Me
Uh,
too.
I think I like Catterall as much as anything, because I don't like Josh Taylor. I do like Catterall. He's one of those who feels like, because he didn't get to be unified champion of the world, feels like he's being wronged. Yeah, and his last fight was Barbosa, where he was just on the end of the wrong end of a decision. And I feel like for 147 division now, there's some nice fights to be out there for him. Now that he's got a bit more of a name. And I think he can do well in the division. I also like Arlen Eubank. I like the way he fights. I like his style, and they're both. Arlen Eubank hasn't been at 147 for too long either, has he? So
No, I
maybe
don't think so.
So um, I think it's a fascinating encounter, and also it's just another good domestic fight. When seems to be having a really good year of it in terms of domestic scraps. I do think Qatar will be too good for you, Ben, but that's just because you've got the body of evidence there to say that he is the more experienced. He's an experienced fighter. He's a better operator. He's been in there with classier opponents. As I say, you never know until you try it. And Harlem Eubank has been, progressively looking more and more impressive. And he seems to be in good fights. He's very rarely in a dull fight. So, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it's nice to be sort of going into a fight where I'm pretty confident this will be a good fight. Like I'm pretty confident. I can't see how this will be a boring fight at all. And I don't really care who wins. Like whoever wins is very much going to be fair play. Best man won.
Yeah.
I can see a way for Eubank winning it. I can. I think I'm sure Catterall will be the favourite, but I don't think that puts it out of reach for Eubank. Actually, maybe could end up being a little bit similar to Esserman Taylor potentially, where Eubank really steps up and
Yes, yeah. Could bring it with the engine because he moves. I like. I know you don't like the expression "styles make fight." I know you don't. I know you don't. But these styles, I think, will go together quite nicely. In terms of how Eubank likes to move around quite a bit, try and pick his angles, and and Castrol's very considered. He's very considered, and he might pick him off. And it's whether Eubank moves too much. He just yeah. It's the kind of fight. It's not going to be a cat and mouse fight, is it? They're gonna trade. They're gonna go for it. It will catch fire a few times. Also, technically, there's going to be a lot to like in there as well. I don't think it's going to be like a brawl, but as you said, I can't see it being a poor fight.
It's hard to see. I mean, I don't like
Would you
picking
be an
up.
absolute snooze fest now?
Yeah. I can't see it. I think it might. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a banger, but I think it'll be quite technically like a high
Be an
level fight.
interesting fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a high level fight without it being boring high level fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to swing, one way and then another and things like that. But yeah, I just think it'll be a good fight to watch. Like every round will be interesting, or at least tense, or it'll have that. It feels like it'll be quite tight as well. So they're always more interesting when they're a little bit tight, aren't they?
I think it's the kind of fight where, again, I think Castrol will win just because I think he's at that level of bud at the moment. But again, you don't know with Eubank. But he'll have to work for it, and that's exciting. It should catch fire. I'll be backing Castrol on points. But the same as you, I don't care who wins. I like them both, and I think it will be done in the right manner. It's not like there's going to be bad blood, or maybe there will be. Who knows? Maybe there will be bad blood out the back of it, but I don't think it will be. Neither of them are really like that. Even in all the Josh Taylor fight, I felt like Castrol came out of his head, his dignity intact. He didn't come off. You knew it'd be hard done by, but he didn't really bemoan it too much to the point where you're like, okay, get over it. I mean, his manager,
I mean, have you seen? I don't know if you saw the sort of face-off thing for this one, where there's a little bit too much respect going in from each side. Like I kind of think they almost should just forget those events if you've got two fighters that aren't really going to sort of have a little bit of a pop at each other because
if the objective of those shows is to sell the fight, and that is the kind of thing that when the fight was announced, so you and I were excited about it, and people like us will be excited about it, and it's
you're not going to pull anyone in. I don't know how you're going to pull anyone into this. You either have seen Jack Catterall fight before and you like him and you're going to watch it, or same with Eubank, or you're not.
I guess there's a bit in the name. There's a bit in the name of Eubank, isn't there?
There is. I mean, it's tenuous, isn't it? Like
it is, but if you're casually scrolling through and you see Eubank, you go, "Oh, I'll have a look." There's another one.
If I'm a fighter, maybe I'll just change my surname to Eubank. Just get a little deed poll thing going on. Suddenly, you get another 50K on top of what you were fighting before.
I'd go Charlo, the real Charlo.
Yeah, this Eubank and Charlo appear to be white. Yeah, don't worry about that.
That's so
right. And Joe Cordina returns, I think, this weekend as well.
Is this his first fight since he lost to
Kakachi?
96-year-old, yeah, Kakachi.
Yeah, it is. Which is seems like quite a long time ago as well.
It was a while ago, wasn't it?
So I'm not exactly sure why it's been so long coming for Cordina.
Has he gone up in weight?
I think he has, yeah.
Yeah. Because he was... What was his knockout in weight? Was it Ogawa? The one, his good result. He had, well, I say good result, but he had like a homecoming.
Second round KO, yeah.
So that seems a long time ago now. Cordina almost, this it sounds harsh, but again, when someone's not been active, you kind of forget about them, don't you?
It's over a year. So it's over a year now since he's fought. So it was May 2024. So yeah, it's a long time coming, this one.
It's a rebuild then, really. So starting to kind of get his name, or get himself relevant again, get himself back out there. I don't know a lot about the guy he's fighting. Ripley's just been brought over for him to get beaten. I don't know.
They've both got the exact same record.
Really?
Yeah, so 17 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws. Okay. Yeah, I mean, whether that tells you anything. In fact, actually, I don't think this guy's ever fought outside of Mexico in his life.
Aliba. There we go. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so I probably I don't think that bodes well for him. Um,
no.
like for your first,
Can he do it in on a stormy night in Manchester?
yeah, I don't think that bodes that well. But I don't know anything about the guy other than his record is pretty much a lie. I will say he's got a higher knockout ratio, about 75% than
Yeah.
Cordina. So,
Would you
but
say?
who's he been fighting? Who's he been fighting?
Would you say 17-1, right?
Yeah, yeah.
In Mexico, you're clocking those up. He's been, you could be fighting every other Tuesday or
By
something.
the time you're 10 years old, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Whereas Corbina's got all the amateur and everything like that we know about. So he's got 17 pro fights, but and the rest. Whereas, but obviously the Mexicans will obviously have amateur pedigree as well. But you don't know. You think of Canelo's record. Yeah, how many who would he fought of note in his 17th fight?
Well, if I am on the sort of comeback trail,
Yeah,
and they said, "Oh, here's a list of opponents. They all got similar records,
yeah.
more or less the same as yours. This lad's a Mexican." I'd be like, "Well, no, scrub him out straight away." I'm not saying all Mexicans are hard, but it kind of does feel like that sometimes.
Generally, yeah. It's not so, yeah,
Is there anyone from Italy that we could throw in the
yeah,
mix? That's what I'd be
exactly.
saying.
Yeah, or a Spaniard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You need to find those nations or Africans. They've often got padded records, aren't they? Like, get me some
Yeah.
Africans in there.
Well, no, yeah, not even a padded record. I just want someone I could beat. I don't care about the record. It's
Yeah, yeah,
a Mexican who's got the same record as me. I'd want
yeah. Yeah.
assurances that these have been, three of those were
Here we
actually.
are, Joe. This lad's he's fought 17 times. He's 75% knockout ratio. He's only lost once. He's
Yeah,
he's you know
yeah, yeah,
sorry, what was that?
yeah,
He's a Mexican.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, grew up on a cattle farm. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do to him, he is gonna just keep walking
he'll
forward
keep coming forward.
constantly.
He'll keep coming forward.
Are there any Mexican back foot fighters? They'd be shunned out of Mexico, wouldn't they?
It's never happened. It's never. It's like evolution. They just keep going forward. Yeah. Well, we'll see where Cordena's at and see where he's at.
I mean, having said all that, I'd imagine Cordina's going to win. I'm sure this is a fight that's been picked for him to win. It's too long out. You can't go in there with someone
Well, you'd
tough.
hope so, wouldn't you? Because even though everything we've said about Mexicans there, he's still an unheard of Mexican.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so if you lose to him, it does feel like, are you,
Yeah.
are you done? But yeah, and if you, again, same as we were saying about Wilder last week, you've got to look good doing it, really. Which
Okay.
I expect him to. I expect him to.
Yeah,
No,
I would think so. I
I
like
mean, nothing.
Cordina. I like Cordina. It wasn't a nice fight to watch, that one, even though it was a great win for Kacacha. It was a bit gutting watching Cordina get beat.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
I'd
like.
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him back. Although I'm getting a bit worried that there's quite a few fighters out there that I quite like, that are sort of nice fighters. We need some more horrible people, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, does that bring us on to today's announcement? Horrible people.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't want to see it. I will watch it. I'm sure I'll. Well, I don't think I will
Go on
enjoy it.
then. Tell us what it is.
Well, Ben or Eubank Ben 2 has been announced today, hasn't it?
And it's for September, which I think was always the plan.
Yeah,
Sep
Wembley
Sep
Stadium. Wembley Stadium, is it? Yeah.
September 20th. I think it was always planned to return in September. As far as I'm aware, the conditions are the exact same as the first fight.
Oh, okay, right. That's what I didn't know. Because and you've got all the stuff going on with Eubank Jr. Is he going to get fined again for how he made weight or not made? He didn't make weight because he's on those videos. So it just seems mad that he's going to do it again. Like, how much do you need the money? You can't. I can't see the fight living up to what it did.
No, none of it. That's the thing. It's not just the fight. It's not just the fight. All the sort of pre-build up, like the egg, the senior not being involved, the
And being there.
Nigel Benn being in, Connor's corner, all of that is gone.
The only way this works as an event in the build up for me is if Senior's fully involved front and centre throughout. But I can't see how he will be, given again his reaction to how Junior was in the aftermath of the fight when he was in hospital and he said, he was having flashbacks to his other son who died. And it's like he can't support it.
No, no, no.
And also, it seems like you can't really say, "I'm not coming in and come again," like you did.
Yeah, and I think
He
I'm
has to
not
be weird.
massively up for this fight at all. But maybe I would be if a year had gone by. But it's not that long. It's not that big
Nah,
of a gap between them.
I can't see how Ben wins it either.
Not really. It's very difficult to see.
It's a classic one of a good big and beats a good small and yeah, he's not that much bigger, but I do think he's a fair bit better. Um, but I don't know. I get why they're doing it. Ben definitely, but Eubank Jr.'s got nothing to prove. He's got a lot to lose.
Yeah, I was thinking what would happen if Ben won this fight? Like, does it set up a trilogy then? Like, does it mean that Conor Benn is the better fight? I don't know. Like, it doesn't to me. It just means you won a fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
But the fact we're already speculating about what it could mean, there will be narrative there again. It will set. I said it after the fight. I simultaneously did and didn't want to see it again. Didn't for the reasons I've said. I think it's dangerous. I do. But it was bloody entertaining. So it's quite an easy sell. But then if you remember the real Eubank Ben 2, that wasn't as good as Eubank Ben 1, right?
no, it was quite poor that fight to be honest.
And you kind of, because, I don't know, maybe just because the first fights of both generations were so good, you kind of expect the same to happen again, fairly or unfairly. Um,
It's hard to see it being better. I mean, let's say Conor Benn knocks out Eubank,
yeah.
or vice versa. Let's say Eubank knocks out Ben. I don't think that gives you a better fight because that fight was on the line right till the very end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like a knockout is clear cut. Someone wins easily, but unless it's another absolute gargantuan battle that swings one way and then the other, I just can't. I don't know. None of the build up. I'm not. I get a bit bored of watching Eubank and Ben go at each other.
No. I mean, if he brings out, I mean,
for Conor Benn, the opportunity to sort of avenge in the ring must be quite sort of tasty. But you
yeah.
must know that it's September. So you've got 3 months of losing every interaction with Chris Eubank Jr.
Well, this is it. Eubank Jr. played it so perfectly, from from the second he had the idea about the egg, he had it all his own way. Couldn't have gone better. Yeah.
But he'd even started long before that because when he signed with Boxer, he was saying,
Scumbag.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was calling them all scumbags. Yeah.
All the way through that. Eddie, oh, you're a scumbag. I mean, I tell you what, actually, let me just pose something to them. So during the run up to the first one, then he's had the scumbag. So he got sued by Frank Warren. He had to pay him, I don't know, a couple of $100,000 or whatever. He then had the fine for the egg.
Yeah.
He then didn't make weight, so he got fined again, a half a million, something crazy about that. So he made obviously a lot. He's still up, he's still in profit. So maybe this time he needs to make more money because he's planning even more entertainment. so that's the case I can make for the fight. In which case, I'm all for it. Because if he can repeat the genius who gave us excellent, then let's see what he brings. See what he brings. And I would like seniors to be part of it throughout because imagine how much fun that would be then.
Yeah, but I don't think he's as good a talker as his son is. So I don't. He he just sort of is a hog, is Senior. He likes to hog the limelight and just take attention. I think his son is just more cutting and he's able to just penetrate and absolutely annihilate people.
You know what? I guess this is the thing as well. I guess actually, despite how it ended, it you know the upshot of it all is that Junior stepped out of his dad's shadow.
Yeah.
Despite the whole thing being elevated by his dad being there, that was almost like I don't know, passing of the baton, wasn't it, from father to son? Okay, you'll be a man, my boy, and all that. It's that. So
I still find it really difficult that they pass it off as this sort of great moment of sort of father son relationships. And he got he got Senior slagging off his son on anyone that had put a camera in his face for the entire run up. He would just slag him off. He wasn't just slagging off the event; he was directly slagging off his son as well.
called him a charlatan, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Then you've got Nigel Benn, who by all accounts isn't a great dad to some of his kids at all. Like it's funny how a narrative can be formed, and
Oh, yeah.
the media will run with it, but it might not be true at all.
Well, I think, but you're right. You're right about that. But the narrative part, there is a narrative to be there. So I started this section off by saying, don't want to see it. And I don't want to see the fight. I do want to see the build up. And I will
Yeah, I'm a bit.
obviously, I will watch the fight, but it's kind of one of those where if something happened to Eubank Jr., it's like, has he flown too close to the sun? It's like, does he just, cash out? Who knows?
Well, yeah. I mean, I am a bit sort of. I feel like boxing is a bit overdone on rematches and trilogies and things like that. Like, for all the sort of the great trilogy that Fury had with Wilder,
Yeah.
like it actually stopped other fights happening. That AJ fight was signed.
It didn't, it didn't
And it,
need the first fight, did it? It
and
didn't.
and it stopped.
It was good. The first fight was really good, but it didn't need it.
No, it didn't need it. It didn't really teach us anything new, and it stopped the AJ fight from happening.
Yeah, and this stops Ben from.
I mean, this one's a bit better because Eubank's at the end of his career, unless he's going to fight Canelo, which is looking less and less likely. I don't know where he's going to go. He's probably not going to go for a world title if he's going to fight Conor Benn this year, because I can't imagine him fighting next year.
Exactly. It feels like he's kind of given up that.
And Conor Benn is young enough that it maybe doesn't matter. Also, because it's a rematch twice, is the fight will be both matches will be within the space of a year. But I'm a bit. It's just like, what are we missing by having rematches? These rematches are sometimes interesting, sometimes disappointing. Usyk Fury 2 is disappointing.
Yeah.
Usyk Joshua 2
That's
kind of
all
was
right.
more or less the same fight as the first one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just money. It's just money. These rematches are just all about money. They're never about sort
Of course.
taking boxing forward or anything like that, or letting the fans see the right fights or anything like that.
It's to the detriment of both men. Well, say that. Several million reasons why it's not, but it feels like all the upside here is for Ben. He has the shot.
Yeah.
And if he loses, he was smaller.
I don't think it matters if Ben loses one fight or loses two. I don't think it matters.
Exactly. And he's, he can. The weight's no issue. Nothing's an issue to him. I mean, he has to get in the. Well, basically, I guess the downside for Ben is 3 months of having Eubank run rings around him, having now beaten him. Oh God.
Oh yeah, and I suppose
that's the money. That's the money. That's why the money's there for Ben, because he's just got to be absolutely, just destroyed.
Yeah, he doesn't have the brain to be able to deal. You can see from his responses, like first time around, to what Eubank says. It's not only is Eubank very good at trash talking, and he's got a very unusual way of doing it.
Yeah.
it's easy pickings with Conor Benn. It's got to be the easiest person he could ever have to trash talk. You could find a foreign fighter whose English wasn't very good, and I still think he's got it slightly easier with Conor Benn because he's just not a smart kid, is he?
No, he's not. Um, Conor Benn, such a show. I remember his first fights. I was first fights. It was just wow. I quite liked him. I quite liked him until all the egg stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was
No,
really disappointed when I never wanted the his fights up in the first place when it was first announced. So I just wanted them to do. And I like Eubank Jr. But again, I liked both my dads, so I kind of wanted to like them.
it's at the risk of building it up too much. It's another one of these Canelo Crawford fights where it's not I don't know I do not know what the beef is between Conor Benn and I know what it is now, but I don't know what it was before. Like it feels like a fabricated beef. Like what Conor Benn's got no reason to dislike Chris Eubank Jr. He's got
Done now. It does.
he has now, but before there was no reason, like no reason whatsoever.
No, I think it was. I think there was the romance of the dads, and that's why the fight was meant to happen. But I think it was after the cheating. It was very real then, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true. Maybe that needs to happen this time. Put it back by 6 months. No, actually, it wouldn't be 6 months, would it?
No, but I think because Eubank is because he's his father's son, he certainly comes across as being very, very noble and very principled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
He isn't though. He
no,
isn't.
no, of course,
Comes
no,
across as that. I mean, doesn't he gamble away all his winnings by
yeah,
playing
yeah,
poker? He's not the
um,
most principled person.
yeah. But but principled in terms of the art of pugilism. He's it's very much about that. So for him, Ben will always be a cheat.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I
Ben will always
suppose.
be a scumbag. So that's never going to go away. And if you're Ben, great, you're not going to like Eubank Jr. Are you?
I mean, what if presumably there's someone in each person's team, right, that goes, look, we're going into this press conference. He's going to try and rile you up. Try not to lose your shit, mate, because that's when he really, really gets you. And like, it's just like I can't imagine that person's job. What do you tell Conor Benn to do? Like,
There's nothing you can do because it's like when it's as ill-advised if you can't go toe to toe with them. It was
no.
like when it was when Joshua tried to outbox Usyk in the first fight.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly. It's just what have you got at your disposal? And you know, ultimately Ben's got nothing in that department. Other than
Yeah,
last time round, he had a relationship with his dad. Now there's
yeah, yeah.
that going for him. He's
So while I will say I don't love the idea that this fight's being signed, obviously I'll watch it and I'll get right into it. I think
yeah,
the reason I don't love it is because I would far rather see Eubank go for a world title, and I'd rather see Conor Benn do the same.
yeah, same.
You know, and I'd rather see where Ben's at because I still don't really know, and
But
then it's getting in the way of that. That's what I don't like about it.
I think there's obviously slagging off this fight. We've done the same on the Canelo Crawford fight. I think as much as anything, if I'm being completely honest with myself, it's just because I wanted to see the Canelo Eubank fight and both these.
Yeah, we're purists. We're purists, Rich. We've done nothing but hype up Carol Eubank. You know, we're purists. A real fight.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, mass appeal. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to drop you a bombshell now.
Go on.
I'm going to pick Dubois to beat Usyk. I might change my mind as we get closer to the fight, but
Why
I'm
is
gonna.
why has this happened?
Um, I've just sort of been thinking a little bit more about the Eubank splitting with his promoter, things just being a little bit different.
Usyk was promoter.
Sorry, yeah. Did I just say Eubank?
He says Eubank, yeah, but
That could still happen.
well, yeah, actually, probably because I don't think Box are going to exist. But anyway,
Yeah, so Usyk splitting with his promoter. Obviously, that's not a big thing, but it's a little change. I think I was going to say, I'm not sure Eubank. I'm saying Eubank again. I'm not sure Usyk. Will he knock him out? I don't know. I feel like Dubois
I don't think he will.
will land. There's a long time to land. I don't know.
I look, if Dubois beats Usyk, he could beat Usyk. There's just such a body of evidence of Usyk being too good, too clever, and improving during fights, but improving on the second time out
Mm.
against a fighter. The difference being this time, it's the time between the fights and how far the Dubois progressed, both physically, but I think crucially mentally. He certainly seems to believe he's
Yeah,
able
I on that mental thing, I'm going to go directly against my own sort of statement there.
yeah.
Ah, he might have improved a little bit mentally, but I think he's got the quit in him. It's been there. It's always been there. And you know, I don't. I think it'll only take a couple of rounds until he's feeling a bit sorry for himself when he's fighting Usyk this time. Now that's obviously going directly against what I've just said,
Yeah.
and this is why I picked Dubois against AJ. I think he'll clip him at some point. They'll clip him. Eubank is fucking hell. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?
Harlem Usyk. Harlem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chris Usyk Jr. Um, yeah, he's hittable. He's hittable.
Well,
He is hittable. I mean, going back to my point about these rematches have sort of not allowed us to see everything that Usyk could do as well, because like he's spent all this time having to beat everybody twice. Like, he could have more names on his record, but he's only going to be remembered for a few heavyweight fights
yeah.
because he's had rematches every time.
It'll always be remembered for Chisora, right?
Yeah, actually,
His first 5 rounds, and we saw.
Chisora, probably the fighter that gave him the hardest time as well.
Well, do you know what? The Chisora fight, I remember thinking, as I think a lot of us did, maybe he's not cut out for heavyweight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it seems to be. I mean, Chisora, he's a plodder. He walks in, he throws bombs.
Go on.
He'll take shots to throw them, and he will. He takes a lot of shots, like obviously to get his shots off. Is Dubois going to have to do the same? But the thing with Dubois in the first fight is he didn't like Usyk's shots. He did not like them.
He didn't, and I think when he went down, it was like he just looked knackered, and I think maybe now he knows he can go to those deep places, if you like. And he's been in there with him, and he's felt that tiredness we've spoken about before when you come up against Usyk. So he's better prepared. He's got a better chance.
He is better prepared, and he has got a better chance. I'm talking myself out of it again.
He's had longer with Don Charles as well.
Yeah, but like it's all well and good saying, well, Big Baby Miller, he went to the wire there, and Hrgovic landed a few shots, and he's been in with Joshua.
They're not Usyk.
But the Usyk difference, going the distance almost with Big Baby Miller, it's not the same as going the distance with Usyk. Like you're getting hit all the time. Big Baby Miller is just a big sort of walking lump.
Well, he says he's a 20-stone imp, and that's his thing.
Yeah, so on my early prediction, I'm going to go with Dubois. I haven't got a lot of reasons for it. I think he might clip him at some point. He's got a powerful shot. I think he'll get beaten down, like round by round. I think Dubois will be taking an absolute pasting. But I think he might just catch him.
Yeah, well, that's what he's got. He's got the puncher's chance. Yeah, we'll see.
He might wheel out a great shot like Wilder did against Herndon. Is that us for this week then?
I think so, because I'm going to pass out from heat soon.
And before ladies' night the week after next as well, so it's an all-female card. Taylor Serrano 3. So my knowledge of female boxing, hard to believe, is worse than my knowledge of male boxing.
But it's better than mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Better than mine. So yeah, that's one for people to look forward to.
Well, yeah, if you're one of the 3 listeners to this podcast, statistically, I would say the chances of any of them being female are almost 0.
I can't imagine what a female audience.
What female wouldn't want to listen to two bald blokes with a mediocre boxing knowledge go on for an hour and a half?
Talking about boxing for her own entertainment. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
So you got that to look forward to, ladies.
Yeah, it's ladies' luck. 2 for 1.